I was born in a Presbyterian home. My family had been part of the Presbyterian Church. My father came from a Roman Catholic background, and I actually just learned here that because my mother was visiting and talking about the seminary and the Lutheran world, she mentioned to me the first time that her grandmother was Lutheran, and that I didn't know until now. So perhaps I do have some Lutheran influence there in my family too. And so then I grew up in church. I was a boy who was always in church. The church was always the center of my life. Everything went through the church, and my world was actually from the lenses of the church. And I grew up being part of the church and being part of every society of the church, everything that they did there. And later on, then I decided to do seminary, and I studied for 5 years, and was ordained in the Independent Presbyterian Church of Brazil, and then started my master's in Brazil, which is a little different how things work there in terms of the educational system. And then when I was ordained, I was a pastor there for 5 years, and then came to the United States. The life of the church really affected me in many ways, and my mother was a strong woman of faith, and she was the one who taught me the things that I know today. And my father was an artist, so I got the faith and the arts from both of them. I grew up as a poor boy. Our family was a poor family, and when I was 8 years old, I became a shoe shining boy, and I'm very proud of it. I still have my shoe shine box, and so from 8 until I don't know how long, I was a shoe shining boy. And then at age 13, I started to work full time from 8 to 6 as an office boy, and from there I never stopped working. And I think that the passion for the church was just because of my church, just because of the ways in which my family taught me about the church, and so it was as if I couldn't do anything else. Of course, I went through my crisis in the midst of the seminary, wanted to give it all up because I thought that it was somebody else's desire for me and not mine. But then I came back knowing that was the place for me to be, and it was the best thing to do. So I was a pastor for 10 years, 5 years here in Brazil, in the outskirts of São Paulo, in the midst of a shanty town near a favela there, and here in Massachusetts for 5 years working with immigrants. Mostly non-documented immigrants in the area of Fall River, Massachusetts. And so for 10 years of ministry, and then I decided to move on and do my studies, and continue my studies. I had done the master's in Brazil, and then I got a scholarship to go to Union in New York. That was an enormous gift to be accepted there, and that changed my life too.